Last Thursday, the Toronto Maple Leafs secured their spot in the second round of the playoffs with a dramatic victory over the Ottawa Senators. It was a kind of game that defines narratives that shifts a team's energy. But even amidst the celebration, something caught attention, and it continues to raise questions since then. In the final minutes of the game, Scott Laughton, one of the most discreet yet crucial figures on the team, blocked a violent shot and left the ice with visible discomfort. He did not return that night. 2 days later, he was absent from the team's optional practice. The question echoing in the locker room, the press, and among the fans is simple and direct. Is Laughton really okay? On Saturday, Coach Craig Berube was asked about the situation. In a few words, he tried to calm things down. "He's fine," he said after practice. And although the statement is reassuring at first glance, in the context of the playoffs, it could also hide a lot. Because at this stage of the tournament, every detail is kept confidential and every piece of information is measured with care. And when a player like Laughton exits after such an intense impact, concern is inevitable. This incident raises more than just a physical doubt. It exposes the importance of a player who, despite not being a headline maker, has become a valuable piece in a decisive moment. Laughton joined the Toronto Maple Leafs on the final day of the trade deadline, coming from the Philadelphia Flyers, where he spent the first 12 years of his NHL career. At 30 years old, carrying the experience of a lifetime dedicated to a single franchise, he crossed the border to return to his roots. A native of Oakville, Ontario, he now wears a jersey of his hometown team, and it seems he plays with his heart on his sleeve. Before diving into the details of the story, an invitation. If you're a hockey fan, living each moment of the playoffs with intensity, and want to follow everything that happens on and off the ice, this channel is for you. Hit like now, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Here, we dive deep into the NHL's behind the scenes, with analysis you won't find anywhere else. Be part of this growing community as the rounds go on. Back to Laughton. Since his arrival in Toronto, he's played in 20 regular season games, 2 goals and 2 assists. Modest numbers, but consistent for the role he plays. Against the Ottawa Senators, in 6 games of the series, he recorded 2 assists. But like any great playoff story, not everything is about the stats. What Laughton did in that final play, diving to block a powerful shot, goes beyond the role of a forward. It's the kind of play that defines a team's identity, that inspires the locker room, that shows without words what's at stake. And that's why his absence from practice raised so many eyebrows. Because Laughton is one of those players who never holds back. If he wasn't on the ice on Saturday, there was a reason. Berube's statement calms things on one hand, but it doesn't erase the doubts. After all, in playoff games, injuries are often hidden until the very last second. Players are listed as unavailable, questionable, or simply ignored in reports, all in the name of strategy, the element of surprise, and the psychological preparation of the opponent. What we know for sure is that the second round starts on Monday at 8 p.m. in Toronto against the Florida Panthers, a dangerous, aggressive opponent, coming off a strong and physical series. To face them, the Maple Leafs will need depth on the roster, players who not only play well but play tough. Laughton is exactly that kind of piece. Someone who thrives in physical matchups, who bothers defenders, who throws the opponent off their rhythm. And here lies the dilemma. If Laughton is healthy, Toronto gains a silent but vital advantage. But if he's not 100%, the forward line loses balance, and Craig Berube will have to find alternatives. Replacing him isn't an easy task, not just for what he brings technically, but for what he represents in moments like that game-changing block. That play wasn't just a defensive move. It was a statement of commitment, sacrifice, and belonging. It's also important to remember that Laughton joined his team late in the regular season. He had to adapt quickly, learn a new system, find his place on a well-established team. And he did it quietly, with professionalism, with the same energy that now puts him at the center of one of the most intriguing stories of these playoffs. Meanwhile, the fans are waiting for answers. Will there be an official update in the coming hours? Will Laughton take the ice for warm-ups? Is he just being rested? Or is there a more serious injury behind the silence? And you, fan, what do you think? Do you believe he should play even if he's not 100%? Or is it better to preserve an important player and risk adjustments in the lines? Your opinion matters here. Leave in the comments what you would do if you were in Berube's shoes. And while Scott Laughton's recovery continues to be closely monitored by everyone, there's another situation in the Maple Leafs locker room that seems to be weighing even more heavily. A situation that transcends physical and tactical issues. We're talking about a dilemma that involves not just the present, but the future of the team, the future of an entire era in Toronto hockey. Mitch Marner, the creative talent behind much of the Leafs offense, is approaching a crucial milestone. He is nearing unrestricted free agency. Just days before the start of the second round of the playoffs, the drama surrounding Marner takes on even more significant dimensions. During the live broadcast of Game 7 between the Avalanche and Stars, the respected ESPN analyst John Bucci-Gross didn't hold back. He bluntly stated that the Maple Leafs cannot afford to lose Marner this summer, even with the financial obstacles the team is facing. His words were direct and to the point. Marner is fascinating. I don't understand how you let him go. This comment carries even more weight coming from someone so respected in the world of hockey. Bucci-Gross, with his extensive experience, not only understands the financial challenges the Leafs are up against, but also recognizes the importance of keeping essential players, especially Marner. The question then arises forcefully. If not Marner, who will be the pillar around which Toronto will build its future? Of course, this is not a simple question to answer. And as the free agent market approaches, the eyes of the entire league are on what will happen with Marner's future. Marner's season has been nothing short of spectacular. He registered 102 points, a career high, and is one of the most intelligent and creative players in the league. He has proven to be a natural facilitator on the ice, creating plays and opening up space for his teammates in ways few can. But his value goes far beyond the numbers. What he brings to the team in terms of game vision, consistency, and even morale is something any elite team would love to have. Marner isn't necessarily the 50-goal scorer some might expect, but he is undoubtedly one of the most complete and valuable players in the NHL. However, there's a problem. His 6-year contract, worth $65.41 million, ends in June, and he will soon be eligible for unrestricted free agency. Time is running out, and the Maple Leafs need to make a tough decision. Ensure that Marner stays in Toronto, or risk losing one of their greatest talents for nothing. In a league where every financial detail counts, and where the salary cap is unforgiving, this decision may be more complicated than it seems. This is where William Nylander comes into play. He, who recently signed an 8-year extension worth $92 million, is a key piece in the roster. Nylander, who has a no-move clause, represents a potential obstacle for any trade or move involving Marner. It's not that the Leafs can't move Nylander, but it would complicate things significantly. Trading a player with such a clause is no simple task, especially considering his significant contribution to the team. His presence, alongside Marner and others, is crucial for the team's offensive balance, and any trade decision would have to be made with great care. But John Bucci-Gross was clear in his preference. If you need to trade Nylander, I just don't understand how you let Marner go. For him, Marner is the kind of player that can't be easily replaced. His ability to make those around him better is rare, and in a scenario where trades may be inevitable, he would be the player to keep, not the opposite. This situation creates a considerable dilemma for general manager Brad Treliving, who, at the same time, has to deal with the fact that Marner's contract is about to expire and that the team's financial situation is tight. What should Treliving prioritize? Keep Marner and risk a major overhaul of the team to free up salary space? Or accept that the market will find a solution for Marner, perhaps even losing an essential piece in exchange for adjustments elsewhere? Coach Craig Berube and other members of the coaching staff must also be aware of this scenario. Amid the intense playoffs, the concern about players' health, like Laughton, intertwines with Marner's contract issues, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty. And once again, Marner's silence about his future only increases the mystery. Although he stated in March that he loved the time he spent as a Leaf and avoided talking about renewal, the truth is that his future could be one of the most crucial issues for franchise. With the series against the Florida Panthers starting this Monday, the hours are becoming more and more precious. Marner and the Leafs have no time to waste. Every game now is more than a battle for survival in the playoffs. Every win or loss has implications for the negotiations that will follow. What's at stake is not just the Stanley Cup. It's the identity of the team, the future of one of the greatest talents Toronto has ever had, and the direction the franchise will take in the coming years. And while the tension rises on the ice, the pressure behind the scenes only intensifies. What will management do? Can Toronto find a way to keep Marner without dismantling the team structure? Or will the changes ahead bring a complete overhaul? With pieces being moved and new priorities set, now it's your turn. What do you think? Should Marner be the focus of the Maple Leafs restructuring? Or is it time for Toronto to move on with a different approach? Perhaps moving pieces like Nylander to free up space for new acquisitions? Leave your opinion in the comments, because this conversation goes far beyond the next few games. And as always, stay tuned. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Here, not only is the ice hot, the behind the scenes of the NHL are boiling, and everything could change at any moment.